Good evening. To call this meeting to order, at least by my watch, it is 6:30. Grateful for all the attendance. In all my 10 years, it didn't happen too often, so it's good to see people turning out. We have just come from, if you were not aware, it's on the agenda, we just came from the August graduates, and we'll hear more about that, but it was, as always, an awesome experience to see students who continue to push through their different challenges and make it to graduation. So 8 new students were added to the class of 2021, which is a great way for us to start the evening. Thank you. So first item on the agenda, board member, oh no, I'm sorry. Already forgot. It's been a while. I'm a little rusty. Just some reminders of things that apparently everybody's aware of. So I'm grateful for that. Appreciate the compliance with policies and code of conduct in terms of specific relative to masking, but the policies and code of conduct are much broader than that as well. We have a couple items before we get to public expression, but during that, just quick change, I will call people down instead of the board clerk. For each person who has signed up, we have that list of 10. There will be 3 minutes for each. I will generally keep the time. I don't mean to give anybody more or less time, but that doesn't mean I won't forget to start it, as I'm not even prepared. You help me, thank you. I will need some help on the time. Appreciate, though, their respectful and constructive feedback. It has made course corrections for us in the past, and so we're happy to hear those comments. And I'm going to summarize what the last part of this said in terms of decorum. It comes simple for me. We have a standard for our students. I don't see why we would have any standard different for adults. So please behave accordingly as we expect our students to during the course of the day. With that, I will seek approval of the agenda. Damon first. Second, Joyce. Do we have any amendments, comments, questions, any rearranging? No? Seeing, hearing none. All in favor? No opposed? 6-0. That takes us to our first one, but we've been looking around. Do we have our school student advisory report? Sarah Grover, are you here? Oh, Sarah, you're right by the podium too. So if you like, please come on down. We look forward to your report.
Good evening. I am Sarah Grover, a junior at Fairport High School and newly elected student representative to the Board of Education. I'm honored to be here, and I cannot wait to further get to know all of you. Things are off to a great start here at FHS. Classes are running smoothly, and it's clear that students and faculty are beginning to get back into the schedule of 5-day school weeks. It's definitely a huge adjustment for not only my peers, but myself as well. However, the slow transition back to normalcy will only benefit us all. With such change comes mental health alterations. Some students were in a tough spot during the 2020 to 2021 school year and are so glad to be back full-time. Other students I know are having trouble acclimating back to the increased rigor in their daily schedules. The guidance department and social support staff are always available for the students who may still need a push in the right direction. The construction is impacting a lot of activities that we've been used to, but the student body has dealt extremely well with any noise or inconvenience it's brought upon us. The expectations of physical education classes have changed, but the coaches are utilizing the beautiful new turf field, tennis courts, track, and our other outdoor amenities to make PE entertaining and a beneficial break from the classroom. In the winter, they plan to use the pool and fitness center as well. The lunch periods dispersing from the gymnasium, along with the loss of one hallway, has caused some traffic jams, but Mr. Clark and other staff were able to solve that problem immediately. Hallway dividers are in place to keep students walking on the right sides of the hallways to omit any collisions. The student council and the class officers are already having frequent meetings to discuss class events like homecoming, prom, ball, and fundraising opportunities. The senior leadership trip is set and underway, and they are very excited for the return of this opportunity to go to DC next week. The mask mandate is something that isn't very appealing to students. However, the majority are compliant without needing reminders. They know everyone's in the same boat and that not only are masks required, but essential for the safety of our community. Thank you so much for your attention to our back to school situation. I'm feeling really good about the 2021 to 2022 school year. I'll see you all again next month. Have a great evening.
Thank you, Sarah. Appreciate the report and look forward to future reports. Then, as partially related to, I mentioned the August graduation, next on the agenda is summer program updates. So we have several different teachers and administrators here for that. Invite them all, or should we bring them down in the order that they're listed? How do you want to do that?
Why don't we start with our music program with Pam Serrani. We were able to afford students the opportunity to interact and participate in our music program this summer, and she's going to spend some time talking about it. Thank you, Luke.
Changing up the order.
Oh.
It's all good. Luke, can you pull up the presentation?
Okay. So which one here? Music experience.
And in the meantime, I'll get started. Good evening, everybody. I'm Pam Serrani. I'm the Director of Secondary Special Education and Music for Fairport Schools. I'm here tonight, very excited to share with you a summary to our Board of Education, to our community, of a new music summer enrichment program that we ran over the summer. So just to sort of share the background while we get the presentation pulled up. The idea was generated at a time of the year when there was a lot of uncertainty about community availability to our lesson teachers. We were acknowledging the fact that last year we were unable to start any of our beginning students on any instruments. So there was a real loss and a sense of concern for that. So we also simultaneously had planned for this coming school year to enroll and begin 2 different grade levels of beginning students. One of those grade levels were going to be our 6th graders who were showing up to middle school, which is already a change, and then walking into a band setting where they never even had put together their instrument. So part of the program was to help them feel prepared, feel confident when they walk in for that first day of class. So I shared a proposal, 3 different proposals, to our superintendent last spring. And he, of course, supported the one that would allow and maximize participation for as many Fairport students as possible. So in terms of the offerings, we opened the program to 3 different grade levels. So students who are currently in grades 4, 5, and 6 were invited to participate in the program. Any student in grades 5 or 6 were invited to do chorus, and then our students in 5 and 6 who are starting band were invited, and then our 4th and 5th grade orchestra students began. We were intentional about making sure that our students were able to participate in both a vocal ensemble as well as a band program and string program. I'm going to go a little quickly because I know that you said be brief, so I'll try to move it along. A couple of commitments that were important to us. Of course, we wanted it to be fun. We wanted it to provide an enrichment opportunity that was high quality. We wanted to spark enthusiasm for the performing arts, especially for music. And we wanted to make sure that we did so in a safe way. We also wanted to make sure that our students were able to participate in the music offerings as well as continue to participate in the academic programs, which you're going to hear about in just a couple of minutes. The model ended up being, it was about a 2-hour-a-day for 1-week program. Students attended from about 12:15 to 2:15 for 1 week, and then if they chose to do chorus, they could also attend the second week for 2 hours. JP was our host location for our strings and band, and Minerva DeLand was the site for our chorus students. We had 10 Fairport music teachers who worked the program, along with 2 college-age volunteers who were both music students. And also, I had the privilege of working with our beginners as well, which was one of the highlights of my summer for sure. We also made sure that we provided supervision, paraprofessional support for our students who participated in the morning academic program and then stayed through for the music. And then just in terms of payment, our teachers received an hourly rate, which was agreed upon according to their contract. In terms of a summary, we are really excited to have about 235 students participate in the program. So those students are now in grades 4, 5, or 6. The overall cost for the development and the actual instruction ended up being about $14,600. I have to say that this program was definitely supported by a lot of people. It's why it was such a success. We had our Board of Education, our district office, Minerva DeLand, and JP administration, their office staff, their cleaning custodial team. Our safety and security coordinator helped out with the pickup and drop off. We had our transportation department did support transportation for those students and families that needed that. And of course, as I said, our district leaders. So the actual program included a variety of small group as well as whole ensemble opportunities for our students. So we have some of the students who participated actually had begun lessons, so they entered the camp experience with some background. Other students, it was truly a first day where we showed them how to open their cases, how to play instruments. So we did some differentiation according to their experience, but they all had an opportunity to participate in that large ensemble experience. The students were amazing. I can tell you that they were enthusiastic, as most beginning instrumentalists are. Our vocal students were happy to be on stage, thrilled to be singing again. It was a really beautiful thing to observe. They were hardworking, they were prepared, they were attentive, and it was fantastic, their enthusiasm. Following the program, we did send out a survey to our parents to get some feedback, so I'm excited to share this. We had about 56 people respond to the survey. 87% of families said that their child loved it and or were happy when they came home from the program, which was exciting. There were a handful of students that participated a little reluctantly and or would rather have been spending their time elsewhere, but nonetheless, they really followed it through and participated each and every day. I also asked, it wasn't a requirement that they practice every day, but just to kind of measure their enthusiasm, how many students either talked about the program, shared what they were learning, or did practice. And I was excited to see that about 93% of our students did do those things. When we look at the parent feedback about the actual model, approximately 12% of our students utilize district transportation, and I just want to thank all of those families that did find ways of transporting their children to and from the program. That was helpful in light of the transportation, the driver shortage that we do have, so thank you for that level of support. Up to 94% of the families found that the registration process was satisfactory, and 96% of these students are still participating in a music ensemble now, which I think is huge. Of course, we have to maintain a growth mindset, so we asked for some constructive feedback as well in ways that we can improve the program moving forward. I won't read all of these bullets, but the main theme of the feedback was that families wanted more. So it could be more levels of instruction, so maybe some students needed things a little bit differently than other students. They wanted more time, they wanted more sessions, they wanted more follow-up. So in essence, the main theme was just please find a way to give my children more of this. There were some requests just to help get the information to families earlier. Kids are busy in our community. They're very fortunate to have a lot of offerings, so some families did say it would be helpful if we could get it earlier. And moving forward, they would love to have us find a way to actually tap into some of the outstanding musicians that we're very fortunate to have as professionals in our Rochester area. So that was a suggestion as well. And then I again won't read you all of these, but these are just the positive feedback from our parents. And again, it just said essentially, wow, my child learned so much in just a short amount of time. So glad that the district found a way to do this, and we hope you're committed to it. So that's just some summary. To the board members, you have a copy of everything that I went through. So if you have any follow-up questions after this, just let me know.
Thank you, Pam.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
It was really great to see our staff interact with our students, the music ringing throughout our halls, all the great energy. Wonderful. Thank you. Now we're going to ask Jeremy Slack and Stacy Miller to come forward to talk about their summer program for our K-5 students.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for coming out tonight. We truly appreciate it. Well, Stacy and I just want to share a few highlights from the summer. It was outstanding to have kids back in summer school 5 days a week in person. Our virtual program was awesome last summer, but it was really nice seeing everybody back together and getting to see kids all across the district. A few of our programs that we offered this summer, we continue on with our extended school year program, or our 12-1-1, which was K-4. We had approximately 80 students partake in this program. It was a 6-week program, 3 hours a day. And the overall focus of this program was to really maintain math and ELA schools as kids get ready to return for learning in the fall. This summer, we were also able to add a small component of some social emotional skills lessons, and that was really thanks to our mental health support, and it was a really nice added bonus that we did about once a week with that program. Also, back and better than ever was our Better Together program, and we weren't able to do this last summer because of the virtual component, but this is an outstanding program where we had 20 kids participate 6 weeks, 6 hours a day, and it really is a true collaboration between the Perrington Parks and Recreation Department along with our staff. And the program was really designed for students that are on the autism spectrum or demonstrate a similar profile where we work to strengthen some of their social skills. So they'll go into, they'll have a mini lesson in the morning and they'll work and practice some of those skills. And then throughout the rest of the day to integrate with our Perrington Rec summer camp. So they spend 6 hours, the majority of the day, with them practicing those skills from the morning. And our teachers and our students and staff did an absolutely awesome job. It's a really nice collaboration that we have with the Perrington Rec Center. Also, some of my favorite classes, and one of the best things about summer school is we get to see kids from all the elementary schools, not just Northside where I am. And we got to have 2 813 classrooms, a K2 room, and a 3-5. Awesome kids, a very talented staff, and that is to really continue their learning that they did throughout the school year.
So similar to those offerings, we also were able to reimagine what it was going to look like for our general ed students who were referred, who experienced a little bit of needing support and engagement coming back to school, also coupled with some reading or math needs. And so with that, we kind of reimagined how that would look. Instead of it being a 6-week summer course, we figured, based on the year and a half that we all had, that it really would be best if we really focused our efforts on making it a 3-week course, a 3-week session for each of those. So we were able to offer 2 3-week sessions, which really met needs of the families and the students. And we had wonderful feedback about how impactful that was to be able to shorten it up, allow people to still have their summer after the year and a half, and to be able to get engaged and have time in the classroom this summer. One of the pieces of that, too, I have to say, we are so incredibly grateful for the work that our instructional coaches, our directors, Jess Jones, the time and effort that they put in to those programs. We were supported by them entirely by them creating a curriculum that was pretty consistent across grade levels and for our students, which was really a wonderful thing that we could offer our students. Not only did they focus on connections, but they focused on ELA, math, STEM, humanities. They had circle work, they had community building time, there was movement built in. In that short 2 hours, it was really, really well worth the time. In addition to that, we also ran ENL programming, which helped our students that are working on their language proficiency. And in addition to those students, they had the option of 3 to 6 weeks, depending on their proficiency level, and obviously making sure that it met the needs of the families. So we feel really proud that we were able to meet a lot of needs of their students while keeping them connected and engaged in school, getting them in front of us every day. We feel very fortunate, too, that our staff, we were worried about staffing. We didn't have a problem. Our teachers at Fairport and around the county really stepped up and really saw the value in supporting students in the summer. It was pretty valuable. We're very lucky. So that's definite. And although it's not to be remiss that we definitely want to acknowledge the custodians, the transportation, our clerical staff that was supporting. We had added on mental health staff to help run social emotional components to our summer program, which is not necessarily always part of it. It was a wonderful program. We feel very proud that we were able to help principal it. But really, it was a labor of love, but it turned out to be a great program. And let's see. We didn't have the data, but the data was definitely in the kids because we did have some tears at the end when they were crying because it was over. So I think that's good data to say it was really well received and a wonderful program for all.
Stacy and Jeremy, how did you select the children to participate in the program?
It's great. That's a great question. Some of our students are ESY, or extended school year. That's based on the annual review, and it's determined at CSC. Some of our kids for 813, they continue on as well. For our Gen Ed program this year, we surveyed all of our teachers. We sent it out there, and we looked at a couple of different components, whether or not, did they receive some RTI services during the school year? Were they connecting well during the year, during the virtual piece? And then if there was any concern. So teachers kind of nominated, and then we kind of went through that list, and we did the best that we could to make it a valuable experience for those that could attend.
Did we have enough capacity for all the kids that we wanted to have in the program?
Yes, which was really great. I think the biggest piece of that 3-week component, it really allowed us to be able to get more students in, and it also allowed the opportunity for the flexibility for families to still have their vacations, which was so needed this summer. So it was really a great balance, so we felt very fortunate. And I don't know if some of you may not know from in the past, the Gen Ed portion was really just a reading referral if you were in reading support, or a math referral if you were in math support. So we really took a different holistic approach this year, and really making sure that we were looking at our students as a whole, the engagement piece with the remote and virtual, and how all those pieces come together, and how important that is for our students to be connected.
We wanted to bring the joy back. That was what we wanted. We wanted joy to summer school, and I think we did a really nice job of that.
Thank you. We'll just pat ourselves on the back. No, and thank you to the vision, because a lot of that did stem from Brett and really wanting to look at the whole child. So
Thank you, and I was proud to work with you. Appreciate your great energy and enthusiasm for the benefit of our students. We have our friends from the middle school, our STAR summer program. I think we have Mark Treyowitz here, Becky Short as well. Oh, and Renee, of course. Sorry, I'm sorry, Renee Santalari. I'm sorry, Renee. I didn't see you there. I apologize. And Lindsay. Got a whole crew.
Can you see that, or do you want me to pull it up? You good? Okay.
The blind man has problems seeing. Sorry.
All right. Hi, everybody. I'm Becky Short. I was a co-administrator for STAR this summer. And this summer's theme was the Summer of Sustainability. All right. What am I doing wrong?
If you want to give me the cue, and I'll just do it for you.
What's that?
I'm going to move it for you.
There we go. Thanks.
I'll be in person.
We are lucky to have had a blend of teachers and staff members from several buildings in the district. I won't read everybody's name off, but it's wonderful to have such a blend of people from both middle schools and throughout the district. STAR is special because it exemplifies diversity and equity. It's thematic. It promotes teamwork. It fosters positive peer relationships, and it supports the social emotional needs of our students.
Diversity and equity are essential, and we see that throughout this program. STAR reflects our general population, and one of the things that we did was to incorporate an E&L component so that our English language learners are pulled from the 3 science, math, and ELA classes and given some extra special attention to work on their basic skills for the upcoming school year. In addition, summer school is less threatening because of the fact that there are no grades attached to STAR, and that made the program a bit more easy to handle for many students. One of the things that we did this year with the ELL students is that we read the book Wish Tree by Catherine Applegate. And as you can see in the pictures, one of the things that we did is we had our own wish tree where students from a variety of different countries were able to establish both short and long-term goals and make wishes for the future.
So the STAR program is a thematic program, and what we do every January is we come up with a theme, and then we find a novel to support that theme, and then we make all of our lesson plans in social studies, science, and math surrounding that theme. So it really is the best education because everything really just is focused on that theme and it drives those points home. You can see some of our past themes that we've, even in a COVID year where we had virtual last year, we really focused on executive functioning skills and functions of the brain. We did our crazy brains. This year, our theme was the Summer of Sustainability. And when we have a thematic program, we also have a lot of flexibility in bringing in guest speakers and in some years doing field trips to really help, again, reinforce those concepts and ideas. And this year we were really lucky to have local farmers come in and teach different types of farming sustainability techniques. We were able to learn recycling techniques, and we were also able to access the JP Garden that was started by 2 teachers in this district. So a lot of cool things.
Going along with the JP Garden, our students actually grew bean plants for the duration of their programming. And, you know, they learned lessons about like how to water properly and not overwater, how to not underwater, how to properly place the seed at the appropriate depth so that it can grow instead of being smothered. And the kids really loved the experience. They also were talking about like whose bean plant was growing faster, and then at the end of the program, they were able to take that home. And I've actually run into a couple kids, and they're like, "Mrs. Kyle, my bean is like it's still here." So, really great lesson and like the ability to plant something, watch it grow, and really harvest it.
So again, sustainability being our theme, we were able to bring waste management in as one of our as our speakers, and they discussed recycling efforts, taught the kids exactly how to recycle appropriately so that the products are able to be recycled. They talked about nature conservation and how they change the landscape from a waste management site to fields. They brought in birds of prey. The students were very excited and very engaged. They asked a lot of questions and they were able to answer. They had games, and it was really a really cool thing to have our students have so many guest speakers and learn so many things about sustainability.
So as I mentioned, one of our sets of guest speakers were Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and they run an organization, a farm called the Pasture Stand in Walworth. And we learned different types of healthy regenerative practices for farming, which is great for me because I grew up on the west side and I can't keep my basil plant alive. So they learned about different types of rotations and animal pasturing rotations for better grazing and better product of food. And no antibiotics or fertilizers. They have a special type of pig that eats grass, and basically animal health on the farm determines whether or not the farm is healthy and the food is good. So it was cool.
Mrs. Smith also came on board with her husband, and they talked with Mrs. Scherner, as the 3 of them are the advisors for the JP Garden Club. They were so helpful in allowing us to use the garden this year and the bounty that had grown in the past several months. One of the things that the kids did was they harvested the plants themselves and they pickled the vegetables, which they were able to take home with them. Some of them really seemed to enjoy that. Others of them did not like the taste at all. But it was also interesting to learn more about composting and irrigation, as well as crops that are best grown in this particular zone. So they did a great job.
One of the things that makes STAR special is the cooperative learning component. So kids really learn to properly work together to problem solve. And they have fun by participating in collaborative games that showcase their own unique skills while also really sharpening that team building capacity. And they have Friday Fun Days at the end of every week where they come together in those larger groups and they compete against each other for bragging rights. So.
And these Friday Fun Days are a lot of fun to set up as well, I must tell you. The students have an opportunity for choice. They get a chance to sign up for the activities that are of interest to them. And after shortened periods or rotations on a Friday, we then all would head outside and engage in a bunch of different activities that would allow the 3 teams to compete against each other and to support each other, and then eventually go home, hopefully, with a weekly trophy and bragging rights for that week. So it was really kind of exciting. I'm sorry, me again. Peer relationships were very important. And one of the greatest things about this was the fact that we had kids have come back year after year to the program and have sort of served as mentors to those who are just starting. It's kind of unnerving to come with a bunch of kids from different schools and perhaps meet with teachers that they've never had before. And, you know, for a lot of kids, that's not how they want to spend their summer. We tried to make it fun right from the get-go with activities the first day. And in addition to that, we had student ambassadors through the ASSET program that also lent a hand and helped our kids adjust to the situation and to their new digs at JP. Thank you.
As Mr. Traywitz just said, the positive peer interaction, those relationships is really important to the program. So the next 2 slides are just photos of our kids working together. They identified things that were really important to them and that they wanted to carry with them through this school year, and they worked together to create visuals of that we posted up all around the program.
Another major component of STAR is the social emotional support that the students receive. A lot of the students are referred because they are school phobic or because they don't feel connected to school. And so we put a lot of time and effort into making them feel connected. We have a social worker who works with our students in a rotation and teaches them some really valuable skills. And she's also there for crisis work as well, as some of our students over the summer do have some issues that they're working through, so she's able to support them as well. I think that's just a picture of them in her class. And so STAR is very special, and we really appreciate the opportunity to present this to you. I'm sorry we took a lot of time. The students were joyfully engaged. We're proud to partner together to provide that experience, and thank you for giving us the opportunity to present this tonight.
Renee, how many years have you been doing STAR?
Oh, I started in 2005.
Right? Right.
Love it.
And Mr. Traywitz?
This is my 5th year.
5th year. Lindsay?
This was my first year.
First year,
I'd love
and
to do it again.
yep.
3rd or 4th.
3rd or 4th year? Yeah, they all sort of blend into each
Very
other.
blend.
But STAR was a special part of my middle school experience when I was principal at JP. I really appreciate the thematic approaches. It's really highly engaging. Students have lots of fun, and you're right, those connections, they last. Students need to feel that school's safe, and thank you for bringing that to us for so many years, and this year.
Thanks so much.
Thank you all. I think money well spent. I appreciate the community supporting that every year when we place those in the budget. So thank you so much to the community for the support. Thanks for that great report. Next.
Mr. Clark, are you here? Yep, Mr. Clark's going to speak
sorry, Mr.
one more
Clark.
time about, we've talked about what happened in our performing arts. We had a K-5, 6, 8 program, and we definitely were very productive and engaging with our 9-12 students. Mr. Clark's going to take some time to speak to that.
I'll try to be brief. I know you've been patient through all the presentations, but I want to start with the end in mind and just repeat the names of the students that we just experienced graduation with, our August grads. One of our proudest moments, honestly, we wait the longest for this first board meeting in the school year. But I want to just share the following names that joined the class of 2021. Razan Al-Rashid, Christian Cialini, Jaylene Colon, Jake Cortez, Adri Dalton, Landon Evans, Isaiah Gibson, and Miranda Pound all graduated today. So. Just want to publicly share some of the thank yous that we just had with the families that were able to join us this evening. Really thank the Board of Education, Mr. Provenzano, our district office leadership for supporting our alt-ed program. It was rebuilt 7 years ago by Mrs. Watt, who's now the principal at Penfield High School and wasn't here to share in the joy of these kids, but so much time is invested by her and her team. This was her last parting gift to us on the way out to her new adventure. She ran the summer school over the course of a 6-week period of time. Really want to thank the coordinators, Mr. Domenico, Ms. Trudeau, and all of the teachers that supported this program. Just to kind of give you a breakdown of some stats for you to understand what we were able to do while destroying our cafeteria and our science classrooms at the same time. So we ran alt-ed in the front of the building, very successfully ran 10 separate courses. It was the first mandatory back-in-person requirement since COVID for these students. We had 36 students in the Alt Ed program that attended at least 80% of their classes, leading to successful credit recovery, which is huge for this profile of student. 5 students earned their final credits required for graduation. This program has an embedded social worker, which is dedicated to support the mental and emotional health of all students. And it helps initiate steps for graduates to begin enrollment and guidance for financial assistance to start the college process. So the journey, as Mr. Provenzano shared in our graduation ceremony just now, is just beginning for many of them. So we're very happy about that. Some other components of this summer program included our SPED program. Our special education students got to resume their community-based instruction field trips, which are kind of critical component of some of our highest need students in our ADEPT program. And so they had community experiences with Wegmans, the rec center, and some of the restaurants locally, and that helps them practice life skills. Very huge part of that program. And so we were able to resume that this summer. They continue their related services, such as group counseling. It helps in terms of the skill regression prevention. Also maintain connectivity to our school staff as trusted adults. These are constant supports in the lives of our highest need students. Also, there's a huge component of the socialization with their peers and maintaining those healthy relationships. And many of our students in this program were able to earn credit towards Regents exams through passing courses, which are connected to the exemption that was put in place by the New York State Education Department, for example, in Global this year. So that was huge for us. And then the last component, which was a part of this summer program, was focused on our E&L students. And for the last few years now, we have offered a health class to deliver this material in a culturally sensitive manner relative to the content and the instructional approach, and continued progress on their English language proficiency skills, and again, the connectivity to our school staff, which are very much trusted adults to that component of our population. So that was it in a nutshell. Again, I want to thank everybody that had a hand in this evening. The families were obviously moved to tears, and it was a great celebration. Thank you so much for being a part of it.
Mr. Clark, thank you to you and your team's investment to making this a special night for our August graduates and for our students who participated this past summer.
Awesome to everyone. Thank you so much for those great reports of what happened over the summertime. It was good. If our schools couldn't be used during the last school year, at least to get them used during the summer. So thank you all, and to our staff for making that happen. We are moving on. I'm not missing anything, right? To the public comment period. Like I say, I'll read off the names, and if there's no other reason to stop, I will go